Hey everyone, today I want to dive into one of the most powerful teachings in history, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. This sermon, found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 5 through 7, is a treasure trove of wisdom that has inspired millions for centuries. Picture this: Jesus standing on a mountainside, surrounded by a crowd eager to hear his words. He begins with the Beatitudes, a series of blessings that flips the world's values on their head. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Here, Jesus is telling us that true happiness comes not from wealth or status, but from recognizing our spiritual need for God aid. He goes on to say, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." This is a promise of hope, that even in our darkest times, God's comfort and peace are available to us. And then, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. In a world that often prizes power and aggression, Jesus calls us to embrace humility and gentleness. Jesus also speaks about being the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Think about that for a second. Salt preserves and enhances flavor. Light dispels darkness. Jesus is telling us that we have the power to influence the world for the better, to preserve goodness and shine brightly in dark places. One of the most challenging teachings in the Sermon on the Mount is about loving our enemies. Jesus says, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." It's a radical call to rise above hatred and retaliation. Imagine the transformation that could happen in our world if we all took this to heart. Prayer is another cornerstone of this sermon. Jesus teaches the Lord's Prayer, a model for how we should communicate with God. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. This prayer reminds us of our dependence on God and our commitment to His will. Jesus also talks about worry and anxiety. He says, "Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear." He reassures us that God knows our needs and will provide. Trusting in God's provision brings peace that surpasses all understanding. Finally, Jesus concludes with a powerful analogy. He compares those who hear his words and act on them to a wise man who built his house on the rock. When the storms came, the house stood firm. But those who hear and do not act are like a foolish man who built his house on sand. When the storms came, the house fell with a great crash. The Sermon on the Mount is a call to a higher way of living, rooted in love, humility, and trust in God. It challenges us to reflect on our lives and align them with these timeless truths. So take a moment today to read through these chapters. Let the words of Jesus inspire and transform you. And remember, you are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Thanks for listening. Stay blessed. Please like, share, and subscribe.